Priests get 4 weeks paid vacation. Yes, right down here, I'm sorry.
I just want to say that one of the most
Just came through
encouraging
LaGuardia.
things I got out of your film was the effects of taking a decision, making a decision, and especially with the Finnish school systems, which 45 years ago really were not good, as you said, and that making a decision to make real changes resulted in their extraordinary changes in their whole educational process, which we would do so well to emulate.
Well, except the Finns' point to me was we don't need to emulate them. We need to go back to the world admired our public education system. We had a very populist attitude about having a really good public education system for everybody. And a lot of us grew up in that education system and did quite well. We weren't doing homework at midnight. The sort of fake kind of educating that goes on now, forcing these kids to, take 5 hours of homework home. Anybody's got kids here, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, so they don't understand why we don't go back to who we were. I mean, there's a lot of things we shouldn't go back to who we were because we were awful people, and still are in many cases to people of color, et cetera. But there were a lot of things we did that were really well done. Our unions really were something. In fact, my dad worked in a factory, had a high school education, but belonged to the UAW. Meant that my sisters and I could go to college if we wanted to. He had a 4-week paid vacation. We could go up north, cottage. We had 2 cars. Nobody was living from paycheck to paycheck. All the bills were paid. We had free doctors, free dentists, free eye care. That's in the 1960s. So why did we give that up? Why did we baby boomers who went to Berkeley for free, to Brooklyn College for $35 a semester, to Ann Arbor for $250? Why did we then create a situation where our kids are $100,000 in debt? Why did we do that? They should be a lot more angry at us, the way we were angry at our parents. I'm stunned at how they've sort of been willing to walk into this debtor's prison at the age of 22, where they are shackled and can't do the things that we did. What did we do at 22? None of us felt like we had to get a job to survive, right? We got, like I did, I got a Eurail pass and a youth hostel card, right? Who did that, right? Or you went and, fell in love, or or you got hired and fired at 5 jobs until you found the one you liked, right? I mean, that's the way it was. I mean, we didn't give that life to our kids. In part, probably because so many baby boomers, by the time they got into their 40s and 50s, were worried that they were even going to have a job. And if they lost their job, if they got laid off, there's not many jobs out there for 53-year-olds. So then again, create the system of fear. Create this, wind people up. And enough of them, not everybody picks up a gun and uses it. Some people just vote for Trump. Some people, need to believe that their religion is doing it for them, or whatever it is. It's a mishmash of stuff that creates a collective insanity. And it's what Obama is trying. Obama's been trying to get the funding in Congress to have the CDC study our gun problem, not study individuals who are mentally ill who pick up a gun. Obviously, it is a little crazy to go into, Sandy Hook Elementary School and kill 26-year-olds. But the fix of that problem isn't mental health. That man who did that killing was seeing 2 shrinks. He had the best platinum health care possible because his dad is a vice president of General Electric. You probably just heard that for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I have a high school education, I'm a guy in a ball cap and ill-fitting clothes that just got off an airplane. This is something wrong that an educated audience, it's a little fact, but it starts to answer some of the questions and the way the NRA and the right wants you to think this is a mental health problem. What President Obama is saying, the mental health problem is not the individual mental health, but the collective mental health. Why do we have 300 million guns in our homes? What are we afraid of? 90% of those guns are in suburban and rural homes, not in city homes. There are no school shootings in our urban schools. Nobody goes in with a gun and sprays it in our urban schools, where 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 you would think, right, the way that everything is portrayed, you would think that's where it happens. But I'm just tired of us not just being given the simple facts of this and not doing the things that we need to do to really study who we are. Because the Canadian kids watch the same violent movies, play the same violent video games. There's more divorce in Canada than there is in the US. I mean, go down the whole list of why they say broken home, violence, watching violence, playing violence. I don't know what the statistic was. They had 154 gun murders there last year in a nation of 35 million people. So why don't their kids pick up the gun and start firing away? Because they're no different, really, in terms of the way they're being raised than our kids. The NRA is partially right when they say guns don't kill people, people kill people. It should be changed that guns don't kill people, Americans kill people. Because we're really the only country that has this problem. And what are we going to do to fix it? Stronger gun laws will help. Less guns around, it's always better, because half of those gun deaths are suicides. And there's an 85% success rate if you put the gun in your mouth. There's a, what is the statistic? So there's a 15 to 20% success rate if you take a pill overdose or slash your wrist. Somebody more often than not will save you, will get you to the hospital. Gun, nobody's going to save you. So that's half of our gun deaths right there, because we have so many guns, laying around. And what are you afraid of if you're living out in the suburbs and you have these guns in the house? So I know you're thinking, Mike, what does that have to do with Spotlight? We were just reading in the car on the way in from the airport how, the cops are all like, all this attack on the cops and everybody's against the cops, and now cops are getting killed at a higher rate. And the article was like, this was the lowest year, 2015, for police being killed, and they have the map from 1900 all the way to now, and you just see police deaths going down, 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 down. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just randomly saying whatever is in my mind. If I were de Blasio and I'm walking through a line of police officers and they turn their back on me, I'd do what Giuliani would do, which is often what I say to myself, what would Giuliani do? I would have turned around and I would have gone, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. I'm the commander-in-chief of this city. That's my New York accent. I'm the commander-in-chief of this city. You don't turn your back on me. Get the hell out of here. But I know liberals, we don't talk that way, so I understand that you don't like me. It's okay, and I'm gonna go out the door now. It's like, oh, it's the last question. I've been talking too much. I'm so sorry. Do 3 more, but I'll answer with just 20 words.
Mike, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for being here. Okay, as a 30-year-old New Yorker, growing up in a wealth of information, like everyone's extremely educated in this room, I can guarantee that. And your movies are usually really good. This one's really good as well. But the people that see these movies are people that are educated, people in New York, people in Boston, people in Miami, DC, Los Angeles. I've always felt powerless growing up here. I know that's crazy because I've got access to all this stuff, but the people that control our country are very wealthy people, and then people that live in the Midwest. No offense to Midwesterners, but what I'm trying to say is, how do we expand this message to the people that normally wouldn't access it or believe it, other than Bernie Sanders? Thanks.
Okay, that's a great question. I think there's like 3 parts, so I'll quickly answer it. Number one, my films don't just play in the temples of the left. My films don't play in the Film Forum and the Music Hall in LA, the Coolidge Corner in Boston. My films, fortunately, I'm one of the few people on the left that gets to enjoy a wide, vast, mainstream American audience of middle Americans. This will play in under 1,000 theaters across the country. And so people will see this, so that's number one, so don't feel bad about that. Number two, about the powerlessness you feel as a New Yorker, and I know you look across the Hudson, and all the way from the Hudson River to La Cienega Boulevard, it looks like the Wildings live out there, and the White Walkers. Sorry for the non-Game of Thrones people. I like you, I turned it off after the first episode. I couldn't watch all the beheadings and rape and everything. It was just horrible. I went back to it 3 years later, and I guess they got some notes after the first episode, and they stopped. They brought that down a significant amount. So it's actually one of the best shows on TV. If you haven't seen it. What's that got to do with Spock? The Catholic Church is not in Game of Thrones. So don't be afraid, okay? Because first of all, most Americans are liberal. They take the liberal position. They believe women should be paid the same as men. Look at all the polls. They believe there's climate change. They believe in all these things. You know, we live in a country that's 1% to 2% Jewish. In any given year, in the last 20 years, 10% of the U.S. Senate has been Jewish. So, and who are electing them? People in Minnesota, people in Michigan, people in Illinois. People, you know, it's the bigotry and the hate has gone way down in large part due to the 18 to 35-year-olds like you. Because that's the one good thing baby boomers did. We raised you not to be haters. And you don't hate people because they love somebody of the same gender, or because of their faith, or because of their skin color, or whatever. And it's a lot better, don't you agree, these days? And these kids are going to make it better. That's my real sincere belief. But there's a lot that can happen here. I mean, New York, this is kind of the engine that drives so much. And what you do and where you work, this young man works with Rupert Murdoch. There's so many subversive things you can do while you work in that empire. Little things you get into the paper, little things you put into the news cycle. I mean, everybody knows that at work. There's lots of things that you can do, right? And there's lots of subversive things. You should always be thinking about things that could get yourself fired. Because the world will be a better place if you do. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm just thinking of those two guys, the muralist that Disney hired at Disneyland, and you know, because he was such an anti-Semite, they painted little Mickey Mouses with mustaches on the mural. They were there for like months, and nobody saw them. It's just a little subversive act to sort of, you know, let's not forget what we came from here, and hopefully it's better and will be better.